put your purse over that. It's good I came, huh?
I'm telling you. And then standing next to you make you look good too. I know what to do.
Right? Good morning. Whoever's cell phone just went off, as a nice reminder, this might be a good time to turn off your cell phone or maybe put it on silent. My name is Gary Stoff. I'm the Republican Director of Elections here in the city of St. Louis. And along with my Democrat counterpart, Ben Borgmeyer, we welcome you here to this National Voter Registration Day event. I want to acknowledge the efforts of our staff in putting all this together, some of whom have actually been in the community already demonstrating the voter equipment, but this is really our official rollout, and we're privileged today to have some important officials with us. At this time, I'd like to introduce the chairman of the board, Mr. Jerry Hunter.
Thank you, Gary. Good morning, everyone. And as Gary indicated, welcome to this program in recognition of National Voter Registration Day. I would obviously, before recognizing the elected officials, like to recognize one of my co-commissioners, Jerry Kramer, who is a commissioner on the Board of Election Commissioners. The other two commissioners, I think, were not able to make it today. But thank you everyone for coming. And I want to, in addition to the elected officials up here, I want to recognize, I think in the audience we have Representative Steve Butts, who's out in the audience. Mr. Representative Butts, thank you for coming. And also, I want to also recognize, we've had some, on this election equipment, which was purchased from Hart InterCivic, Inc., we had the very capable and continuing assistance from Mayor, from one of your top lawyers, Ms. Nancy Walsh from the St. Louis City St. Louis City Law Office. I want Ms. Walsh, thank you for all of your work on the request for proposals and the responses. There were many that went back and forth, and so thank you, Mayor, for the very capable assistance from the City of St. Louis Law Department. So we're going to have remarks from Mayor Tashara Jones, the Honorable Tashara Jones. She's the 48th Mayor of the City of St. Louis, and so welcome, Mayor, to the Election Board, and thank you for your support, too.
Good morning, and thank you, Jerry, for that wonderful introduction. Happy National Voter Registration Day. Yay! And thank you to the Board of Election Commissioners for putting together this great event. While we celebrate this day, it's important to remember the right to vote is one we must continuously fight to protect. I'm reminded of the late Congressman John Lewis's words. Freedom is not a state, it's an act. And St. Louis is taking action. As voting rights and our democracy face unprecedented attacks, I'm proud to say that St. Louis has been working to expand voting access and make it easier for residents to make their voice heard with their vote. First, the Board of Election Commissioners embraced no-excuse absentee voting, giving St. Louisans more opportunities to cast a ballot prior to Election Day. I was proud to vote no excuse absentee in the past 2 elections. It was very convenient and easy. Next, the St. Louis Board of Election Commissioners piloted vote centers, or specific locations around St. Louis where people could vote regardless of their assigned precinct. And also, they did that in the past 2 elections. Today, the board has announced the next exciting step, giving St. Louisans the option to vote at any precinct around the city, no matter their zip code or address. Government works best when we work together. And my administration did, and that's what we did here to expand voting access. My administration, in collaboration with the Board of Aldermen, especially Alderman Shane Cohn, directed American Rescue Plan funds to the Board of Election Commissioners to improve our voting technology. And I'd also like to recognize 2 other citywide elected officials who are stalwarts about voting, Comptroller Darlene Green and Collector Revenue Greg Daly. They're great partners. By removing barriers to the ballot box, by making voting easier and more convenient, we are bringing local government into the 21st century, all while promoting and protecting the participation in our democracy. I want to close again by thanking the Board of Election Commissioners for their hard work. I want to thank Alderman Cohn and the full board for their leadership on this issue, and to all the poll workers and staff at the Board of Election Commissioners who work hard every election cycle. I see you and I recognize all of your hard work. Don't forget to register to vote. Thank you and God bless.
Before bringing Alderman Cohn up, I would like to reiterate the mayor's comment about the comptroller, the Honorable Darlene Green, who I've known since, I won't age you, Comptroller Green, since I've known you since college. And also the Collector of Revenue, Mr. Daly, who we all get a bill from every month.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. So we get a good deal from. And I also want to acknowledge the presence of a number of individuals from the League of Women Voters who have been very active in this process of the whole need to update the election equipment in the city of St. Louis. I would like to bring Alderman Cohn, as the mayor referred to. Alderman Cohn was the sponsor of the legislation in the Board of Aldermen, was very supportive, did an excellent job, and we really appreciate it. Alderman Cohn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thank you, Mayor, Comptroller, and Collector for being here with us today. And thank you to all of you for being here to recognize this very special day for many of us across our country and our city. This is a momentous occasion to recognize voters, the importance of voting, the importance of registering to vote, and make your voices heard in our government, whether that's at the local level, the state level, or the federal level. Now more than ever is the time to make those voices heard. And it's a great time to celebrate the advances that city government is starting to make in terms of making voting more accessible to our constituents and our voters here in the city. So I was proud to sponsor the amendment that led to the appropriation to make these advances here down at the Board of Elections. I wouldn't have been able to do that without the support of my constituents, my neighbors, who put this idea in my head, and I ran with it. Also, the League of Women Voters, you all have always been tremendous stalwarts in our city and our region in terms of getting out the vote, educating people on issues on the ballot, and bringing voting more accessible to the people. So my heart goes out to you and my sincere gratitude and thanks for all of your efforts each and every single election cycle. I am so proud that we have finally gotten to this place after many years. The pandemic really did push the Board of Elections into a new era, thinking outside of the box in terms of how we can collaborate with our constituents and city government to make this experience stronger and better for the voters of the city of St. Louis. This is just the latest and greatest and the next steps to come here in the city of St. Louis, and I look forward to celebrating those milestones with you as well. So thank you again for the wonderful recognition this afternoon. Look forward to working with you. Don't forget to register to vote, and don't forget to vote. And thank you to all of the poll workers who make it their place, their business to be there every election day for hours on end, ensuring a seamless election day for everyone who comes to the polls. Thank you so much.
It is my understanding that the Mayor Jones is willing to take a couple of questions, and then. Oh, I'm sorry. Ben, I apologize. I apologize.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ben Borgmeyer. I'm the Democratic Director at the Election Board. And Shane said it's been a long time. Well, I think I was 2 months in the job when Shane called me and asked me why his voters couldn't walk across Bates to vote at Woodward School. And when I told him that we didn't have the equipment that was capable of that, he said, why not? Right? And so that was, I guess, the beginning of this whole journey. So everything everyone said up here is true, and it's all accurate. It's been a long time. And people who know me know I don't take pride in a lot of, I don't show pride, but I'm very proud of what the election board has done here. The staff has done a great job over the course of these last years, selecting what I think is the best equipment for the city of St. Louis, and it's going to make things more accessible than things have ever been. So with that said, feeling pride about that, I guess the next step is to make voters feel pride, right? So we got to have voters take pride in their elections. We need voters to not just show up, but we need them to show up with meaning. And so that's the next step. So thank you all for coming today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ben. I apologize again for that error. My understanding now is the mayor is willing to take a couple of questions, and then the mayor is going to vote a demonstration ballot to show how the new election equipment operates.
So we have time for about 2 questions, folks, because like the chair said, we have a whole demonstration already in front of us. Your name's already, and address is already up on that sheet. So
Good.
get ready. So we have time for about 2 quick questions.
Mayor Jones, speaking of issues that voters in the city and the state have voted on in recent years, there is a push to reevaluate the earnings tax in St. Louis and Kansas City, potentially get rid of it and replace it. There's also the idea of state control of the St. Louis Police Department that lawmakers have said they're going to revisit next session. How do you address those issues?
Well, I'll answer your last question first on local control of our police department. They tried last year and they failed. And there are questions that they're going to have to answer if they try again. The biggest question is who's going to pay for it. We all know that we know our rights as a city, as a home rule city. We know that if they try to take control of our police department again, that they're going to have to pay for all of the police raises. They're going to have to pay for all of our equipment. And this isn't a battle that we're going to take sitting down. So again, they failed before, they'll probably fail again. On the earnings tax, Collector Revenue Daily and I have been working feverishly on making sure that we present the case to legislators about how this would severely impact the city in ways that we would have to cut basic services to our residents. And that would be the same in Kansas City. So I don't think that the legislature wants to be responsible for cutting basic services such as first responders from the citizens of the city of St. Louis and Kansas City.
All right, one more.
Okay, thank you.
Well, let's get everyone in position.
Okay, the press goes back.
So what's happening right now is the mayor is being processed by the whole thing. And okay, she's finished being processed. Now, right behind Ms. Kramer, there is a poll print unit that's going to print out her ballot. It's connected on a 1-to-1 ratio, but we can go up as far as, we're willing to go up as high as 1 to 3, so that way we can allow for more voters to be processed in the faster question. It's warming up normally, it's going to be running the whole time, so it's not ballot that you're going to receive, and they have to be in. Oh, you're okay.
Abraham Lincoln or Darth Vader for president?
Easiest decision today.
Yeah.
The color in the box, can't just mark it. The whole box.
It would take your mark.
Mayor of Sampleville. School board. We're gonna put George Washington Carver on the school board. I can do 1, 2, or 3. Marie Curie, pretty important person. So, consensus. Should our taxes be higher? Should our taxes be higher? The answer is no. What do we do on the 5th day? Okay.
All right. Just go ahead and insert it in.
My ballot here?
Yep. It'll notify you that, there you go. You're done.
They do that, collects all the ballots. It collects the ballots from the poll print and from the ADA accessible machine here. And this machine tabulates all the ballots. So there's a paper ballot for every single voter that goes in here, and it's all tabulated on a USB drive that's locked into that compartment.
So will we have an option to do electronic voting anymore, is everything going to be?
Everything's going to be paper.
Oh, okay.
There's an accessible device for people that need that, but again, this is just printing of marked paper for you. There's no more electronic tabulated voting. Everything is paper, goes into this scanner, and it's all tabulated on one machine.
Okay, and does that mean we'll get results faster?
We hope so, yes. There's far fewer things that we have to get back and upload, so we're hoping that that
So now you
is.
just have to upload the USB drive?
Right.
Okay.
There'll be one for each polling place.
Okay.
That's all we have to upload, and we should have results.
I'll just like to record that. Like one scanner, everybody scans their separate supplies.
Right.
And then you take that USB bag, upload them, and then.
Right. Yes, as quickly as we can get them back here election night, we can get them uploaded.
Right, I know, that's the biggest part, getting everybody back. Yeah. Well, I'm excited.